What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. It's the Recap Lunch Hour with me, Guff, Ryan McGuffey, coming to you one more day from our fine nation's capital here. And it's a happy Friday to you as the weather kind of goes south for us here and turns up in Chicago. The White Sox back at home playing the Miami Marlins, and the Cubs out east playing the New York Mets. And we'll see if that even happens tonight because there's a lot of rain headed that way. It was here early. Now it's headed to the northeast, and there's plenty of fun to be had. I mean, let's talk about the Pope. I mean, after we came on the air yesterday, I'm laughing because of the amount of fun that's been had on social media about Pope Leo, Chicago's own, America's own, the first American Pope in history. We're talking Catholicism here on the Recap Lunch Hour, and I should have mentioned, of course, it's all brought to you by our fine partners at Hooters. Visit originalhooters.com to find one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. And the Pope is a Chicago-born and bred White Sox fan. The confusion yesterday about that was actually a lot of fun. It was part of the fun. The Cubs claimed him as his. Sox later waited for the information to come out in an interview his brother did, I believe, with WGN News, saying, I'm not sure where people are getting this. He's a White Sox fan. He always has been a White Sox fan. Mom's a Cubs fan, but Pope is a White Sox fan, and it's fun. Becky, what's going on? Don't think the Cubs will play tonight. Rain all day and night. Jess, hey, Guff, guess the Pope is a Sox fan. They need that blessing, and that's what I asked. I said, if the Pope had to bless one Chicago sports thing or team or event for you, what would it be? Because it's interesting to say he is a Sox fan. My guy, Eric, coming to you from the great state of Indiana. What's up, Swayze? What's going on, Randall? The White Sox can use all the prayers they can get. Hey, Randall, so could every other Chicago sports team. Let's be honest. Let's fast forward that. Let's go. How about giving a little blessing to the Bulls on Monday night and to see if they can land Cooper Flag and somehow surprise everybody and win the lottery? That's the first thing the Pope could do. Could you imagine if the Bulls were to surprise everyone on Monday, win the NBA draft lottery? Everyone's going to make references to the Pope. By the way, I want to show you some of my favorite. This is the credit. Sometimes social media is an absolute blast. And this is a time. These are some of my favorite memes that have come out since we found out about the Pope yesterday being named. And this is now one saying that their confessional will replace the shower out in the left field concourse at the rate, which would be absolutely hysterical. How about this from Caleb Williams? He didn't come up with the meme, but he retweeted it. The Pope decked out completely in Bears garb. I think it's fantastic. And, of course, the Bears are getting on it. He's got Frank Sinatra. This one's hilarious. Dyeing the river outside of the Vatican. River Green. I think it's hilarious. And then, of course, this great work from the Sun-Times, upper left there, the Pope at the 2005 World Series, proving to all that, yes, he's wearing a pinstripe jersey and is a born and bred White Sox fan. Those are some of my absolute favorites that we saw. And there's so many more, no doubt. I'm excited about Cade coming to town. Maybe he'll give the staff a jolt. The Bears mini camp open today at Hallis Hall. Tomorrow is my birthday. Happy birthday, Becky. If it's a doubleheader tomorrow, they better win one of those games. Regardless, Becky, enjoy your day, man. Anytime we all get to take a lap around the sun is a blessing for all of us. So happy birthday to Becky Lip. We had Doc Hutch, and now we have Doc Pope. Got to bless Caleb Williams, number 18 jersey, especially that Caleb's out there retweeting the Pope in Chicago Bears garb. What's going on, Kyle? Happy Friday. What should Chicago fans ask Pope Leon to request first? Bulls in the number one draft. The Bulls get number one. Caleb throws for 4,000, or a new head coach for the Hawks. I would go, honestly, give me the Bulls getting Cooper Flag, then Caleb, and then the coach for me. Like, that's how I would rank him. Happy birthday from Jess to Becky. Good afternoon, Guff. The real Phil Simms. The Oilers are on fire. Watched that game last night, late night, at a local establishment, going into overtime. Don't see Vegas coming back in the series. The way Edmonton's been coming back all year, especially in their last, I think it's 6 straight games, they did not have the lead and came back to win in the NHL playoffs. Eric, happy Friday. Looking forward to Bears rookie minicamp this weekend. I think Loveland and Burton will be monsters on Ben Johnson's offense. Happy that the Pope is from Chicago. No doubt about it. And by the way, no one loses at rookie minicamp. Everybody's great. Everyone looks great. That's what I love about minicamps. You're going against no one. and everyone looks to be the part. Becky, it looks like it might rain around 8 o'clock tonight. They always will try to get the game in. Teams want to try to avoid doubleheaders as much as possible. So we'll see what happens later. I agree with you. Best sports fans in the country and some of the worst teams, no doubt. Do you think the new Pope will bless the Bears on winning the Super Bowl this year? I mean, I think we'd all like to think so, right? But I don't think you can go to God and give him unrealistic requests sometimes. I think we could all think about it, and maybe he can laugh with us. But yeah, I don't know about that. Clyde, good afternoon. Any new transaction for the Cubs and White Sox? Any news on the Blackhawks head coaching search? And once again, Clyde always complaining that I ignore him, and then probably will finish off by correcting somebody's spelling errors. So, Clyde, hopefully you're seeing this. I'm not ignoring you. There are no transactions, I believe, for either the Cubs or the White Sox as of today. We do know that Cade Horton will pitch tomorrow in New York, which I think for Cubs fans is uber exciting. And I hope to see Cade Horton become that guy everybody thinks he is. No updates on the Hawks. Read on the trib that Ricketts was open for the Pope to come to Wrigley. Maybe Reinsdorf can be open to the Pope coming to the rate. He can't throw the first pitch out at any other park first than the rate. Like, that can't happen. The Cubs have to defer this one. They can have him, but the White Sox get first dibs. He's a White Sox fan. The Pope gets first dibs. The White Sox. Happy birthday, Becky, from Phil, from Terry, from Lip Ripper. Look at this community here. Jess also looking forward to Cade Horton's debut tonight. Let's see how he does against the Mets. Did I mess that up? I thought he started tomorrow. Swayze also with a happy birthday to Becky. Let's go in here. Kyle, love all the posts about Pope Leo. You think he'll give us a Cubs Sox World Series? Hasn't happened since 1906. Supposedly the greatest upset in World Series history. That would be awesome. Ain't happening this year. Did you end up going to the Caps game? No. You would have seen that content. My buddy couldn't go. Wasn't going to go solo. Great question. Obviously, they won 3-1. It would have been, people were jacked up around here. It would have been awesome had we were able to go, but did not make it happen. Young Sue, we need to release Jeff Presley and all the bullpen pitchers. I don't think they're going to try to sort this out. They're going to acquire a couple pitchers before all is said and done. Only 3 likes. Oh, appreciate you, Terry, as always. Probably going to be a quicker show today. I'm dealing with a boatload of people and noise and low battery. So whole bunch of stuff. What are your thoughts about the new rookie pitching tomorrow? It is tomorrow. I love it. I think everybody should be excited. Cade Horton should be super exciting to watch. Cub fans and Cub media are so arrogant, they assume the Pope is a Cub fan. There was some belief. It got out there quick. The Cubs ran with it. They put it on the marquee. It didn't happen. That's why the White Sox waited for the news to be official, and the brother broke it later that he is a Sox fan. And then the Sun-Times dug up the old photo 20 years ago of him at the game. Pretty cool. Any news on the next event? It does appear that the next Hooters event will still be at Hooters O'Hare. I believe it'll be late June. It'll be a Cubs watch party against the Cardinals. I will lock that in the second I know, but it's looking pretty close. And I believe it'll be June 25th at Hooters O'Hare, a Cubs watch party with Cap and I. We will go live for a little bit as well. It's also the same night, by the way, as the NBA draft. So I'm pretty sure if the Bulls have a top 3 pick, we'll be going live anyway, and we'll all be doing it at our fine folks at Hooters. When are we promoting Matt Shaw to the big leagues? I think it's coming sooner than later. A happy birthday message from Kyle to Becky. No good. All good, Jess. We get each other. I thought Cade Horton would start Sunday. He's starting Saturday. Guff, do you want the Sox to be sellers? Of course. They have to be sellers, guys. They're so far deep into this. They're 10-28. They're going to sell whatever parts they have they can. Any of these one-year deals that they can sell, they will sell. Luis Robert, at the heart of that, I believe, will no longer be a White Sox come the trade deadline. Can we have a Shaw update, Guff? I don't have anything official that's saying he's coming up anytime soon. I haven't spoken to Cap about it of late, but I would think Matt Shaw's coming sooner than later. Between the Cavs and Celtics, who do you think has a chance of coming back and winning their series? Honestly, the Cavs. The way the Celtics have imploded, losing 20-point leads, feels like a coaching error to me. I think the Knicks are a better roster than the Pacers. They have a better coach. And I'm going to lean on, even though Carlisle is one of the good guys and good coaches in the game, I'm going Tibbs. And I think they have a better roster with better players. And they're going back to New York. Knicks, Celtics, I think it's going to be fun. Could you imagine if it's Knicks-Pacers renewing that 90s rivalry? You guys brought it up yesterday right here on the show, and that would be super fun to watch. You know what else? It's a great place to watch all of this stuff from. You guys know the answer to that question. Hooters. OriginalHooters.com to find one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. They got the Big Daddy mugs full of Dos Equis, full of Summer Shandy, full of Blue Moon. You want to wash down your tender tacos, your shrimp tacos. If you get the mango habanero like I do, the sweet, the heat, and of course the cinnamon pretzel bites. Or wash it all down with the drink of the month, the Paloma, $8 all month long at Hooters. You, of course, can get your order to go at order.hooters.com. I like doing that as well. When I fly back tonight, I might have to pick up a little Hooters to take back to me and the family. Going to the well again. Panthers Leafs over. Lip's been playing those overs time and time again. And why not when we just continue to cash? Last night was a tough one. ABC News reported and WGN's published the correction. Typical Cubs. I'm in Washington, D.C. Actually, Young, I'm right near the Pentagon. It's a short walk behind me. We're not getting Cap on FaceTime, Young. I know that you want to. The Orioles are 10 below 500 because they haven't prioritized pitching. They should have been doing that for the last 2 years, and they haven't. And because of it, it's caught up with them. And they're one of the worst pitching teams in all of baseball, which is hard to believe when they have such a super talented nucleus full of young hitters. Colston Loveland is signed. Yes. Luther Burden is signed. Colston Loveland signed a 5-year deal with 5 of the other rookies. I don't think Luther Burden was in that group. And Colston's locked up for $26 million. You know, Clyde, I never do. Never forget my fine folks over in Portage. Good afternoon, Phil. They truly believe that the winner of Panthers Leafs will go to the Stanley Cup final. I think it'd be fun to see Toronto. Canada deserves a Stanley Cup final. At least whether or not they win it, I just think, I think about Winnipeg knocking off St. Louis and the way that building erupted. Pretty incredible. Dustin, can't wait to enjoy a weekend of baseball. Bowling Green at Notre Dame tonight. Lake County at Chicago Dogs tomorrow. Finish that off with Washington Wild Things at Windy City Thunderbolts on Mother's Day. Dustin hitting the independent league and the college circuit and the independent league better than anyone I think I've ever seen. Big series this weekend for the Cubs. Let's try to get 2 out of 3, no doubt. Have a great weekend, Guff. Have a safe fight, Black. Appreciate you, Lip. You know that. Kyle, all second-round picks remain unsigned for the Bears. Everyone else is signed. That tells you Luther Burden is not locked up, as I probably need to get to my bet of the day here. How many wins will the Bears have this season? Shot or no shot 11? I won't say no shot 11, but I feel like more comfortable in the 9 to 10 range right now. We'll wait to see the schedule release next week. We know the opponents, of course. We don't know when and where. I would guess the Bears will be a very, very popular primetime team and primetime destination. Sure. Hey, Guff, have they officially called the game tonight? No. I think that they'll continue to try to play. Teams hate doubleheaders. Okay. If they see it clearing a 2.5-hour window, they may try to play. Problem is, there's no really margin for error. Whites suck, and the Pope can have them. Okay, no problem, Leo. That's fine. Come in here. You kick at a man when he's already down. It's really easy to do that. But I'm not going to lie to you. Outside of the Cubs right now, and really the Cubs in the last couple of years, there's not been a Chicago team that's been worthy of anything. They've all been terrible. Phil, will the Blackhawks wait until the playoffs are over to hire a coach? I don't know. I mean, that's June, Phil. That seems way too late. I don't think they go all the way to June to wait to hire a coach. I think they need to get this thing done, wrapped up sooner than later. You have rookie mini camps. You got offseason. You got to put your offseason plan together. I think they need a new coach probably sooner than later. Clyde, they need to sign Luther Burden so he can learn the playbook and not give a temper tantrum for not getting. Clyde, he's in camp today. You don't have to be signed to be involved in rookie minicamp. They're going to get, if they have Colston Loveland locked up, trust me, Luther Burden's going to get his deal. There's nothing to worry about. He will be a Chicago Bear, and he will be locked up for the immediate and long term. Kyle, schedule gets released on Wednesday for the NFL. Can't wait. We'll be right here on the recap to bring instant reaction to that as well. Maybe Cap and I will have a schedule. We'll definitely do a schedule, probably a recap, but I'm not sure. There's so much that gets out on schedule release day about who's playing where on when. We'll probably know the Bears schedule before the schedule officially releases. I believe it's like a 7 p.m. Chicago time release. So I'm sure we'll have that information before. Hawks will have a coach by the West and East Conference Finals. I kind of lean on Lip for that, or lean with Lip on that. I do think that'll be something that comes sooner than later. Heard people in Anaheim weren't happy with the Q hiring. Maybe they look. I'll let that one just kind of figure itself out, because Quenneville is one of the greatest coaches in the history of the NHL. He is one of the best all time. At second most wins, I think, only Scotty Bowman. Pretty incredible. Bet of the day. So yesterday was tough. I had a feeling, and I told you guys this. I had a feeling that Minnesota would blow out the Golden State Warriors, and Golden State would lean back and pull guys back, which is why I was like yesterday, like I really like that Jimmy Butler under 24.5. And then when I gave my pick out, I went with Naz, because I just thought that was the right play, and it made a lot of sense. Naz Reid. And I watched that game pretty much in full. Reid finishes with 11, had a lot of touches late in the game, but quite frankly, Big Ant took over late in the game. And at like the 4 or 5 minute mark, Reid played the whole second half, was sitting there with 11 points. We needed a quick, easy bucket. He was shooting a lot of threes. We just needed one little bit of lay-in to hit that. I'm not mad about the play. I think it was the right move. He took 10 shots. I thought it was the right move, and I'll die on that hill. I do kind of kick myself for not playing Jimmy Butler. Tonight, like very rarely do I want to like ride the White Sox for anything, but you're opening a series at home against the Miami Marlins. I know the White Sox are bad, okay? I know that they are in a rut, and they just took a 4-game sweep to the Kansas City Royals. I was a little surprised. I know Bryce Wilson's getting the start. He's been okay, but the Marlins are terrible. They're terrible on the road. The White Sox are 7-11 at home. I'm going to get value. This is a value play for me right here. I'm taking the White Sox plus 135 money line as the bet of the day. We've had a nice little start to May, and let's finish off a winning week. The Sox need to break through anyway. They've played okay. They've played better at home. The Marlins are terrible, okay? And I'm going to rely on the White Sox here to get things done. Thinking about running to hitting that to score in the first inning, too. Over under 5 innings and 7 Ks for Horton on Saturday is what Dustin's going with. Thank you, Professor Clyde. I was never a great speller because Clyde's out there finishing and taking care of business. I think the Hawks should take Martone at 3 to pair with Bedard, big kid who can really score. What do you think? I tell you guys all the time, I'm going to lean on you for the hockey draft insight. Whew, what a week here in the nation's capital. Been trying to work my way around this city and always looking for places to line up and bring the show to you. And thankfully, for the most part, I did have one hiccup one day where I had issues finding Wi-Fi, and I think we were like 5 minutes late. But we came to you from wherever, whenever, outside, inside, relatives' house, and in between to bring you the Recap Lunch Hour brought to you by our fine folks at Hooters. And I'm proud that we were able to do that because you guys are always here for us, and I'm always here. I try to make sure that we give it back to you. Flying back tonight. We'll be back in the studio next week in Chicago to bring you all of our content, certainly the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, brought to you by Hooters, and all of the recaps all weekend long of the White Sox and the Cubs. We'll have the Recap Rush Hour for you later this evening here on the channel. We'll be with you all weekend. Anytime news breaks, we'll be there for you. Monday, certainly, of course, we have the NBA Draft Lottery. Just dropped a new podcast with Connor McKnight and me and BA on the White Sox. That's really good stuff, talking about prospects, current state of the White Sox, and how maybe the water's not as murky as it seems. Just the Cubs' luck. Marlins are money, and their aces pitching like ass. No doubt. Have a safe trip back. Appreciate you, Eric. Thanks for the commitment to the show. No doubt. Thanks, Guff, for your efforts. See you soon in Chicago. What's going on with Joe Q? Blackhawks trade the 3rd pick. Have a safe. Appreciate all the love, guys. Appreciate all the love. I always do, even though I'm a Guff. Perfect way to end it, Clyde. Appreciate you, bud. We're playing the White Sox tonight on the money line. A value play, wrapping up a week here in the nation's capital. For everybody at the Recap, I'm Ryan McGuffey. This has been the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, brought to you by our fine folks at Hooters. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Go Cubs. Go White Sox. Let's get that first pick. Shock everybody on Monday. See you guys then. Take that.